Sorry, just a few minutes over 3 minutes. I'll take ownership of that one. For those of you who I have not met yet, my name is Kyle. I'm the Director of Operations. I want to thank you all for attending here. For those of you that this is your first introduction to Retreving Freedom, our mission is to change lives through the training and placement of service dogs for veterans with disabilities and children with autism. This event tonight is the fruition of our mission. So this is the event to be able to attend. Now, there have been a lot of events in the past few years that have prohibited us from gathering and celebrating all of the major accomplishments. But it didn't stop us from continuing our mission. And that's what tonight is all about. Celebrating the dedication, the hard work of our volunteers, of our fosters, of our partnering programs, of our partner breeders, of our impact programs, as well as, and most importantly, the clients and the life-changing service dogs that they've received. Now, there has been a lot of behind-the-scenes work that goes into making an event like this happen. So before we get into celebrating all of our amazing clients and hearing some of their stories, I feel it's important that we acknowledge some individuals that have made this event happen. So hold your applause for a second, but I'd like to thank all of our volunteers that have helped with this graduation. I'd like to thank the Electric Park Ballroom and their staff for tonight. And I'd also like to thank all of the tireless hours that our staff have dedicated to this event. So everyone from Laura to Tanya to Trent to Tom to Sarah to all of our staff that were here this morning helping set everything up, let's just go ahead and give them a round of applause. Now, I would like just to address a few housekeeping things before we get started. First off, there is an accessible bathroom that's up here on my right, your guys' left, right behind these curtains. There's additional restrooms that are over here on my left, your guys' right. Four-legged friends, your restroom is straight out that door, and there is a fenced-off area with a little bucket, so please pick up after your waste. Additionally, we have a cash bar that's over here. We have our silent auction going on. Our food, we have our merchandise table at the back, so please take a moment, visit those areas, get something good to eat, place a nice bid. We have some pretty amazing items on there, and some pretty amazing merchandise too with our logos, so want to continue our mission. Lastly, there are tissues at everyone's table. If you guys are one of those individuals that are deeply moved by what you see tonight, please feel free to utilize that. And if you need an excuse, just say you're emotionally sweating and it covers it, trust me. Now, there's been a lot of growth in our organization since the last time that we've met. We've placed 43 service dogs with individuals and increased their independence. Along that route, our organization hit the milestone of its 100th placement. So these are things that we've been secretly celebrating, but we're glad to be able to recognize with you guys all here tonight. Additionally, throughout tonight's program, you're going to see some major improvements that we've done to our facilities. There's been some major capital improvements to the Iowa location that we'll highlight. We also built and now operate a second location that operates as our national headquarters down in Sedalia, Missouri, which, with the help of this facility and help of that facility, allows us to increase our impact across the United States. The other thing is we've built an amazing team. So last time we met to today, we've grown from 10 staff to 22, and their dedication is admirable. And I know our clients see it on a daily basis, same thing with our fosters, and that's one of the things that we are very proud of since the last time we met. We've also made some pretty significant advancements in some programs. Specifically, we have advanced 2 programs. The first one is an apprenticeship trainer program that will be rolling out this year. What this allows us to do is it allows us to provide mastery of service dog training and placement to individuals wanting to come into our industry. The second program that we were able to advance is our in-house breeding program. So we were able to recognize 4 girls tonight. Now, they didn't make a service dog placement, but we want to celebrate their new career. Now, before we start recognizing the individuals that have all been involved in these dogs' lives, I want to just kind of give a flow of show here. So whether it's these dogs or whether it's the dogs with their clients as they come up and get recognized, we will ask them to come across the stage. We're going to read off every individual that played a part in that dog's role. I encourage you, if your name is read off, please stand up. Now, I ask that we just hold our applause until all of the names have been read and recognized for each individual and each breeding dog before we start giving the round of applause to celebrate this accomplishment. So, we'll give it a test run here first with Miss Rose. So Miss Rose is from our in-house breeding program. Her dam is from our RFI breeding dog, Faith. Faith was fostered by the Sanderman family and also with our partnering breeders of Carrybrook Labradors as well as Ridgeview Labradors. Faith's puppy raiser is Allison Wessel. The impact programs that Faith went through were Wartburg College, teacher foster Jess Meyer, as well as with the foundations. Now, the breeder foster is the Vogt family. So please join me in giving a round of applause to these individuals and Rose's lead. Second dog is Piper. They look a little similar to Rose. They are sisters. Rose is also from our RFI breeding dog, Faith, who was fostered by the Sanderman family, from partnering breeders as Carrybrook as well as Ridgeview. Piper's puppy foster is Kelly Smith. The impact programs that she went through were Wartburg College, teacher foster Merritt Eisner, as well as the Iowa Medical and Classification Center. Piper's breeder foster is Paige Bergman, as well as Carew Vogt. Let's give them a round of applause. Next up, we have Sasha. Sasha comes from Harvest Time Kennels. Her puppy raiser is Jess Heine. The impact programs that Sasha went through were Wartburg College, the University of Missouri's ROTC Cadet Program, teacher foster Jess Meyer, and as well as foundations. Sasha's breeding foster family is the Pruitt family. Let's give them a round of applause. Last and definitely not least is Shelby. Shelby comes from Big Sky Labradors. The breeding foster family is the Dahlquist family, and Shelby was donated by the Krishner family to Retreving Freedom for our breeding program. Give them a round of applause. Now, all of our growth, all of the advancements, all of the placements that you'll see here this evening could not be done without the support of our communities and each of us in this room here today. So I want to recognize the generous support from our fosters, our volunteers, our partnering breeders, our donors, as well as the sponsors of this event, as well as dogs throughout their journey in our program. Now, I get the honor to introduce Retreving Freedom's Director of Development, Trent Dirks, to acknowledge all of the support, not only for tonight's event, but from the years past. So please join me in welcoming Trent Dirks.
So, does anybody know what you call a dog that can do magic? A Labracadabrador. No, thanks everybody for coming out tonight and joining us to support our clients, their success, the success of our service dogs. I know the impact that these service dogs have on not only our clients, but their families as well. My name is Trent Dirks. I'm the Resource Development Director, but I started my journey with Retreving Freedom as a client. Tracer and I got placed in 2016 after I had spent several years struggling with PTSD. Tracer's helped me knock down a lot of barriers and overcome a lot of adversities that has led me here tonight, and I'm looking forward to hearing the couple stories from a couple of our different clients. As many of you know, it takes a village to make this all possible for our clients and our service dog success. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank you all and recognize some of the folks that make this all possible. I want to thank tonight's graduation sponsors, Clark & Associates, Doubleheader, McGee Construction, Merritt Weisner, Midwest One Bank, Peace United Church of Christ, Susan and Jerry Valley. I would also like to thank tonight's volunteers and all of our fosters. Everybody from our puppy raisers, our breeder fosters, weekend fosters, holiday fosters, breeders, our service dog sponsors that are here tonight, our board of directors. With us, we have our board chair, Al Hogan, and our board secretary, Renee Massey, somewhere in the room. Hey. Yeah, we put in a lot of hours to help us out and get us on the right track and keep us going. So thank you, Al and Renee, for that. I also want to thank the Hayden Freedom Foundation for our new van, our airing yard, shed, flooring, and other facility updates that we were able to accomplish the last couple of years, and continuing to support the Retreving Freedom in many different ways. Additionally, Retreving Freedom would like to thank Robin McCumber for painting our new mural in our training room, so it's not on our floor anymore, and it looks beautiful on the wall. So thank you. And thank you everyone who has played a role in the success of our clients and our families and our service dogs. We cannot do it without you folks. On behalf of me and Retreving Freedom and all of our clients, thank you so much for spending your money, donating your money, spending your hard-earned hours of time you could be spending doing anything else to come here, support us, raise puppies, and do all the things that you do to help us continue our mission. So thank you very much. With that, you should all be very proud of yourselves. We appreciate it so much. With that, I would like to introduce Kyle, Bailey, Emma, and John to present some diplomas. That's what we're all here for.
Hi everyone. After we call your name, you're going to come through here, get your diploma from John, and then go back to your seats. First, we're going to recognize Chris and Damon, even though they're not present, and parent Elizabeth. Damon's breeder was Craig Stein and Ridgeview Labradors. His foster was Lisa Good. His impact programs included Newport Sedalia, Citizens Against Spouse Abuse, Central Mississippi Correctional Facility, Wartburg College, Teacher Foster, Stacy Carnigan. Next up, we have our autism team, Eddie and Basil, with parents Brandy and Kurt. Included in tonight's graduation team, we have RFI Breeding Dog Spirit with Carolyn Nash and Pause with a Cause, Foster Jessina Minger, Impact Programs, Central Mississippi Correctional Facility, Teacher Foster Jess Meyer and Wartburg College.
you, ma'am.
Our next graduate not present tonight is Jackson and Watson, along with parents Marcy and John. The breeding program was from the RFI breeding dog was Spirit from Carolyn Nash and Ridgeview Labradors. The foster was Iowa Medical and Classification Center, and the impact programs was Iowa Medical and Classification Center, and the teacher foster Amanda Grau, Wartburg College, and puppy sponsor Tony Russell. Next up, we have Noah and Chief and parent Shelley. Chief's foster was Katie Wall. He went through the Central Mississippi Correctional Facility, Wartburg College, and Foundation's impact programs. And his final training sponsor is Pat Ward. Next up, we have graduate Roy with Service Dog Blaze, parents Jennifer and Roy, along with RFI breeding dog Gracie, the Ingersoll family, Carrybrook Labradors, and Ridgeview Labradors. Blaze's foster was Lindsay Aldinger, and impact programs include the University of Missouri ROTC program, Iowa teacher foster Jess Meyer, Foundations, and Wartburg College. Our next graduate is Zoe and service dog Finley, along with parents Courtney and Joseph. The RFI breeding dog was Gracie from the Ingersoll family, Carrybrook Labradors, and Ridgeview Labradors. Foster was Lynn Lulock, impact programs Iowa Medical and Classification Center, and Wartburg College. That concludes tonight's autism graduates. Veteran graduates, if you could please make your way to the left of the stage to begin lining up for your diplomas. All right, our first veteran client, we have Army National Guard veteran Andrew and service dog Atlas. Atlas's breeder is from service dog RFI breeding dog Lacey, Sarah Shadid, Jason Milkey, the Dalcos family, and Ridgeview Labradors. He was fostered by Josh and Tiffany Meyer. His impact programs include the Central Mississippi Correctional Facility and Wartburg College, and he has a final training sponsor from Drew Brand. Although not present with us tonight, we also wanted to recognize Army veteran Andrew and service dog Kenneth, who is from the RFI breeding dog Gracie with the Ingersoll family, Carrybrook Labradors, and Ridgeview Labradors. Fosters include Ashley Ackerman and Sue Cotman, and impact programs include Citizens Against Spouse Abuse, Iowa State University, and Wartburg College. Also not present tonight is Army National Guard veteran Chisholm and Tilly. Breeder is RFI breeding dog Hope, Carpenter family, and Yellow Rose Labradors. Foster was Sarah Shadid. Impact programs include Wartburg College, Iowa State University, and the Iowa Medical and Classification Center. Veteran sponsor was Child Charities, And final training sponsor was Judy Yanover and family. Not present tonight is Army veterans Dan and Chance. Chance is from RFI Breeding Dog Hope, the Carpenter family, and Yellow Rose Labradors. His foster was Lynn Lula. His impact programs include the Central Mississippi Correctional Facility and Wartburg College.
Next up, we have Army veteran Dennis and service dog Henley. Henley's from the RFI breeding dog Annie with the Card family and Golden Rule Retrievers. Foster, St. Canny, Impact Programs, Wartburg College, and puppy sponsor Bobby Henley.
Also not present tonight is Navy veteran Dustin and RJ. The breeder was breeding dog Faith, the Sanderman family, Carrybrook Labradors, and Ridgeview Labradors. Foster was Maddie Fletcher and Mitch Foxwell. Impact programs included Citizens Against Spouse Abuse Foundations and Wartburg College. Next up, we have Navy veteran Frank and service dog Anchor. Anchor's breeder is Ridgeview Labradors. Her foster was Sarah Shadow and Jason Milkey. Impact programs are Wartburg College, Teacher Foster, Stacy Kerrigan, and Iowa State University. Final training sponsor, Cindy Sherrar and family.
Next with us tonight is Army National Guard veteran Jamie and service dog Leonard. Leonard is from the RFI breeding dog Gracie with the Ingersoll family, Carrybrook Labradors, and Ridgeview Labradors. Foster is Sophie Hayyoung. The impact programs are the Central Mississippi Correctional Facility and Wartburg College, and final training sponsor Judy Yanover and family.
Our next graduate is Air Force veteran Ken and service dog Abe. RFI breeding dog Spirit, Carolyn Nash, and Pause with the Cause. Foster Kit Stinley. Impact programs included Central Mississippi Correctional Facility and Wartburg College. Teacher Foster was Amanda. Next up, we have Army National Guard veteran Kurt and service dog Lyric. Lyric is from RFI breeding dog Rose and Honey Hollow Labradors. She was fostered by Carolee Lilienthal and Bailey and Randy Leiter. Their impact programs include Wartburg College and Citizens Against Spouse Abuse.
Next with us tonight, we have Army veteran Lyle and service dog Hank. Hank is from breeders Craig Stein and Ridgeview Labradors, fostered by Athena Hansen. Impact programs include the University of Missouri, ROTC program, Citizens Against Spouse Abuse, Wartburg College, and teacher foster Stacy Kerrigan. Final training sponsor includes Blueville.
tonight, Army veterans Scott and Hallie, breeder, RFI breeding dog Annie, the Card family, Hairy Brush Labradors, and Golden Rule Retrievers. Foster, Tyson Trunkhill, and Impact Program, Wartburg College.
Next up, we have Army veteran Ty and service dog Wrigley. Wrigley is from breeding dog Gracie with the Ingersoll family, Perrybrook Labradors, and Ridgeview Labradors. Her foster was Addie Brinney. Her impact programs included the Central Mississippi Correctional Facility and Wartburg College, and her final training sponsor is Judy Nancy Hanover and family.
Not present with us tonight is Army National Guard veteran Tyson with his service dog Sadie. Sadie was from the RFI breeding dog Annie with the Card family and Golden Rule Retrievers, and her impact programs were Wartburg College.
Our next graduate is Army National Guard veteran Will and service dog Vera. She is from Ridgeview Labradors. Her foster was Madeline Burke and the family. Her impact programs included Iowa Medical and Classification Center and Wartburg College. Citizens Against Spouse Abuse, and her puppy sponsor was Son of American Legion Lawler Group.
Of our diploma, so let's have one more round of applause for everyone involved. Now I would like to invite our Director of Training, John Drock, to the stage.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming, first of all. This has been an honor for me to have you all here and to celebrate these absolutely wonderful teams. I get the honor of introducing a few of our clients who are going to be giving a brief testimony on how those dogs have changed their lives. So if you would please join me in welcoming Ty and service dog Wrigley.
Wrigley, please.
Good evening. When they told me, asked me if I wanted to come up here and talk, I normally would say no. But it's RFI and they've done so much for me that I decided to say something. So, I started my career, I served 30 years in the Army, and I retired in 2016. After I retired, I didn't know what to do with myself. I went down a real dark path. Matter of fact, if it wasn't for people like RFI and my family, I probably wouldn't be here right now. I'd be a statistic. And it's not a good statistic, it's one of those bad ones. Fortunately for me, my wife and my family and friends saw that I was in a real bad place and got me help. Now, while I was getting my help and doing what I needed to do to make sure I stuck around, I was getting my tools necessary to live. I know. So one of the things that happened when I was in Iowa City was these people would bring therapy dogs, and they would bring them up, and the joy that they brought made me think about getting a PTSD dog and a service dog. So I did some research, and one of the first things that came up was RFI. I looked it over, and most of you guys in here can tell you, we don't think we just deserve one or need one. And so I hemmed and hawed about it, and I really had to dig deep to ask for a service dog. You know, and like I said, I kept on telling myself there was other people more deserving than me. I never took care of myself. I always took care of my troops, and I took care of my family. I never thought about myself. And I still don't. I still think I'm a lucky guy. It was a long road. I won't lie. You know, getting a service dog is hard work. And from the time I started with RFI, I could not thank them enough for Wrigley. As a matter of fact, I thought it was going to be over because of the pandemic. I thought I was never going to get a service dog. And I was wrong. I talked to Cassidy, I talked to John, I talked to people up here, and we started up again. And when we decided that it was time to start looking for my service dog, my Wrigley, Cassidy brought out 3 dogs. The first 2, I couldn't even remember their names, but they were great dogs, but they just didn't quite fit. The 3rd dog was Wrigley. Yeah, you. Now, when Wrigley came out, they brought Wrigley out. She pulled away from Cassidy and ran to me. Now, the first thing they told me when I first started the program is, you don't pick the dog picks you. And they were never so right. And I could tell you, they were right. Wrigley did not, I didn't pick Wrigley, she picked me. She's the most, she's not modest. She has been a blessing to me. And I was isolating. I wouldn't go to the store. I wouldn't do nothing. I would just hunker down in my house. And now that I have Wrigley and my family, I am more, hell, I'm up here right now. I'm living. I'm living. And God willing, Wrigley will keep me going with my family, my wife. With all the tools that I have now, I have purpose again. And I can't thank RFI enough. And that's why I'm up here. If you guys know anybody that needs a dog, get them talk to them. They'll help. And she doesn't only help me. She goes out with me to church. I run a veteran support group, and she goes around to anybody that needs it, and she helps them. She helps them. Everybody loves her. So, in closing, finally, I was going to say a joke about her eating, but if you go in the Labrador, you know that they love to eat. And she loves her treats, don't you? These dogs save lives. They save lives. And I want you to remember that. They save lives. And Wrigley saved mine. My wife saved me, my family, and my dog. And I cannot thank RFI enough for what they've done for me. And it was, like I said, it's a long process, but it is worth it. It is so worth it. And thank you. Thank you so much.
What an amazing story. That's why we do what we do. Next, I'd like to introduce Courtney and Zoe and autism dog Finley.
Hello, my name is Zoe Raines, and I go to Cedar Falls High School. This is my dog, Finley. She is my best friend. Don't tell my dog, Coco. Finley does the crash and did it to calm me down. She also likes to push buttons to open doors. Finley and I do 4-H together, and we got first place. Finley's favorite thing to do is play with me. I wouldn't know for sure because I am not a dog. Finley is there to calm me down when I get home from school. Because of her, I got 4 and I'm on the honor roll. She helps me in every way. Thank you to Chad, Cassidy, IMCC, Cheryl, Ingersoll, and Lynn for helping me get Cindy. Thank you to RFI and the many donors who have changed our life. Also, thanks to all those who fostered her on the weekends. Thank you for making my life better.
Are you glad they put Kleenex at those tables? I was given the honor of doing a closing statement here tonight, and that's tough to follow. It's an amazing thing to watch from start to finish. It is, I remember the first time I met Ty, and we were talking about, where are we going to go from here? COVID had ended, and what are we going to do, and how are we going to move forward? And I remember the distinct thing Ty told me when he had gotten his dog, and the placement was done, he was walking out, and my office was right there in the front, and he stopped, and he looked at me, and he goes, it was worth it. So, very, very cool. But yeah, this is an amazing thing that happens at this organization, and there's a lot of people that are involved with that. Many of you sit here tonight. In order to provide that independence and to bring some of those things and have that kind of relationship that our clients have with their dogs, it takes a substantial amount of work by many, many people. It starts off with the breeders, breeder fosters, foster raisers, weekend fosters, teacher fosters. We got impact programs, kennel technicians that are cleaning up and feeding these after these dogs. 365. The trainers who come and take these dogs, and it's not just the ones you see here tonight. It's the ones that we thought would be great dogs for somebody, but maybe medically they weren't quite able to, or you know what? Maybe they just don't care to be in public as much as other dogs. But they're still great dogs. They're just not service dogs. But all those dogs, all of that fostering, all of that time, all that training goes into them as well. And as the dogs go through the training process, all the people that are involved, I love to go into public when I wear my RFI stuff, because inevitably someone will stop me with some story about RFI. Either they knew a client, they knew a raiser. Sometimes it'll be parents of kids who are in school with the teacher fosters, and they will say, "Oh yes, my teacher had a dog last year, is getting another one this year." It could be any number of things, and it is the best feeling to be able to go, "Yeah, I get to play a small piece in that," and it's really amazing. As I talked to all these clients here tonight, and as I went to see how the dogs were doing and how they are interacting, I love to hear the stories of how they are impacting their lives and what they're doing. And it is an amazing process, and it is a lot of fun to watch. A lot of organizations in this industry focus, rightly so, on the client and the dog team at the end. But when I first came to RFI, I was talking to Kyle, and one of the things we talked about, I'll never forget, we were sitting at a Mexican restaurant, and he had brought in this tiny little puppy, 8 weeks old, he had just picked up, and he's busy, trying to get the puppy to behave, and we're talking about, the future of RFI and things that are happening. And he said the difference between RFI and other programs is that we really look at all the people who this dog has touched. Not necessarily who touched the dog, but the dog has touched so many different people. And I thought about that for a long time. I thought, boy, that is the truth. Our impact programs, some of our prison programs that we have, we get amazing stories, the differences that dogs are making. A lot of our college programs, kids who have these dogs on campus. We also have college programs that come to our facility on a regular basis, and I get to meet those kids and talk to them, and what are they going to do with their future? And it's just an amazing thing to watch how these dogs touch so many lives before they get to the people in this part of the room. And then they're able to touch those lives and the work that goes in. I use an analogy quite often, and my staff will probably roll their eyes at me because I use this all the time, but when my kids were little, they were learning how to ride a bike. And so I was busy walking as fast as I could alongside them, holding that seat. And one day, I was able to go, "Okay, you're on your own." And they rode off, and they fell a few times, and they got better and better, and pretty soon, they're not just riding their bike, they're doing wheelies and going no-handed, and "Look at me, Dad," and all that, right? But I think that in a small way, it's very similar to the dogs that we have here and then our clients. We work that process, and the trainers are working with them, and they're building those behaviors and getting things ready, and then they meet their client, and they go through all those hours of training and all that time coming in, and whether it's driving through blizzards. I know Ken had come several times in the wintertime, and he's driving through all the weather to come and train with his dog. And we got to that point, and placement came and went, "Okay, here we go." And we let that seat go. And then when they come back to these types of events and we see them and we see all the things that they have done with their dogs on their own, had nothing to do with us, and the relationships that they built and the tasks that they taught, for me, it gets me very emotional, and I really love to watch that and see how they've grown together. It really provides that piece of independence, you know, and each one is different. Each client uses their dog a little differently. Sometimes there's, you know, things that are similar, but I love to watch when I get groups of clients like this, because I like to see how each individual client works with their dog and how that dog meets that need. And it's really an amazing thing to watch. I think for me, to say congratulations to all you graduates is such a small thing. I wish I could tell you all the stories and everything that went into this process and how we did it, and all the volunteers and all the hours and hours that went into that, and just sit and talk with each one of you for hours about that. But getting to see you and your dogs and how you work together is payment enough for us. We just love to watch that process and make the changes that we need to in order to see the bond that you formed with your dogs. I think the big piece for me here tonight is I have, in April, it was 32 years that I've been in this industry. I've literally watched thousands of graduates, whether it be dogs that I've helped train personally or watched other trainers train. And there hasn't been one time that I haven't gotten emotional watching events like this. It's still the most amazing job. It's still the coolest thing I've ever done or ever will do. And I will continue to get up every day and do this as long as there's people who need it. So congratulations, graduates. Thank you, volunteers. Just an amazing, amazing time tonight. Now, some of you may notice that in your program, there's a little giving envelope in there. If you feel led, please feel free. You can leave it on the table. If you want to give your gift to the folks at the merch table, you can do that as well. If you would prefer to use a debit or credit card, you can do that as well. And they can take care of that back at that table. It's a lot of work. There's a lot of cost that goes into that. And if you feel like you'd like to, please do. But I just want to say thank you for coming tonight. It's been an amazing time. If you're going to be in the area tomorrow, we will have an open house tomorrow morning at our facility in Waverly from 9 to 11. Please stop by. You can see some of the improvements that were done that Trent was talking about, and get a chance to see what we do firsthand. If you've never been there, I'm a little partial, but I think it's a pretty special place. So please feel free to stop by. Otherwise, feel free. I think there's still desserts left, I believe, maybe. And feel free to help yourself to a beverage, mingle, and we're here for you. If you see anybody in a gray shirt, they can help you with whatever you need. And I just want to say thank you so much for all of you for coming tonight.